Hello, I'm Flavio and I'm going to show you Knative, which is a platform of service mesh to give you some really nice and handy way of deploying services. I'm just going to start off by doing a clone. Okay, other one, which is just a little app, which I'll show you in a second. Start a virtual machine, do a vagrant up. When I get into this machine, show you this little Flask app that you can hit and get a bunch of information about who you ask. Delay is to make it take longer to reply if you want to make it longer. And boom is to actually make it crash. This app forked from Shiva, so thank you Shiva for that. I just focus on PFE, probably found elsewhere. So everything I done here is really taken from somebody and collaged together. Like this, you can take a look. Okay, so this big file. And it's just all the provisioning, and there's a bunch of things that I already installed project, but I don't really have a Kubernetes cluster yet, which is what I'm about to do here. And that's going to take a few minutes, so while that's happening, let me show you the slides here. In Kubernetes, you can have this, you write an app, you push it to some source control somewhere, build an image for it, push that image somewhere, then write a YAML file to represent your deployment, and then worry about services and how you're going to export that once it's running to the outside world, and then launch it in a Knative way. You basically have a much simpler path. You write an app, push it to source control, that source control, we're automatically building it. Also, one YAML file, you Knative service, not only encompass how you want the app to behave, but deal with revisions and deal with the whole serviceability of it. You have Kubernetes and you have the operators, and then you have service mesh, which gives you how the things that you run on Kubernetes get taken care of. You can use Istio, or in this case, for this demo, I'm actually using Gloo from solo.io, which simplifies service mesh and gives you the same platform that Knative is built upon, so it doesn't really care that it's Istio or Gloo underneath it. But at the end of the day, you have developers who are able to push, build, and deploy that. You have three pieces, Knative. One is serving, the other one is building, like I'm showing here, and the other one is eventing. I'm not going to cover eventing much in this video, but you can kind of have an idea that eventing pretty much relies on the build and the service, which are building blocks for providing serverless. And within serving, you have these three major pieces: the service, the route, and the configuration. Don't confuse this service with Kubernetes service. Let's go back to our workflow here. Now that I have a cluster, save away some of these bits into a file, install the service mesh piece through Gloo, like I was talking earlier. So that's that. This is the piece that will give us the service mesh for this demo. Playing Kubernetes, you would have the default, the public, and the system. Now that we have Gloo, and Gloo is running its own namespace, we also have the Knative serving. Now I do have a public IP address, which I can use to get into my cluster from the outside, and I'm using postman. Link that to my own domain. Okay, so let's just save that. And then push that up to my registry, right, which you can look at here. There it is. Yep. Just pushed it. It's there. So now I can deploy things in Kubernetes and refer to this image loop. I will just show you what's in my default namespace. Right now there's nothing in there really. It's this part, which is the old way of doing it, right? So if you had two parts of it, you have the deployment part and you have the service part. I'm not even doing the part that does the load balancing, so this is just to export it internally. And that creates it, and you see the two replicas. Make it more complete, you also create a load balance, right? Which I'll just do it externally here instead of inside the YAML file. We'll do that, and then we would export it, and then I'll get a public address I can get to from anywhere. Just for giggles, I'm gonna create another pod here in my image, and just to run out of bone to save that as a, and then do a curl, right? So this is me hitting this from there, running a loop. One of those two pods, I get a number of hits. It's going up based on which one is getting hit, and then have a different. So yeah, that's all good. You just get out of here, clean this mess. All right, give you a tip here to give you an idea. So this is what we did. We just did, right? And this is accomplishing the same thing through Knative. So this is the entire YAML file, and don't get confused. Like I said, the service, which encompasses the two parts that I was mentioning earlier, right? The route and configuration. And I'll touch more about that when we do the next demo. We got service, auto scaling built in. We can get things like scale to 0. So if an app is not being hit or not running for a while, it would go away. The service remains, but the pod stops running. So you get all the niceness of scaling for free. And start it here so you can see YAML does on my cluster. You can see here every image once deployed gets a revision number, what they call external name. So this kind of routes to the proper revision based on whatever rule you define. Just to show you the various pieces at play here. We have in the YAML, I'm creating a service, and internally Knative is actually creating a route and a configuration to determine what to do for that service. At this point, I should be able to actually hit the target, and if you look at this comes from Knative1, that target variable right there. I can also hit this from my postman side. So here, I do a send. I can just hit it a couple times like that. I can do the boom. Keep an eye here for the restart. You see that we hit and then we restart. No problem. Scaling up, scaling down. All that can be specified inside this YAML file. Clean this up and prepare for the next piece of this talk, which is the blue-green, also known as canary deployment. Instead of having a service, I'm actually having a configuration and a route. So we can back to that picture one more time. So I'm actually operating at this level this time around because I need a little control over how I want it to route traffic and how I want the images. So I've broken it up into two. And that's what this part is. Let's start with that. I just created, showed you earlier. You see that there are no Knative services, but we have the route and the configuration provided there. And we have our pod running on version 0.0.1. Now, to make this thing kind of fun, let me split the screen. Loop here, which is curl I got on that pod. And right now, all we have is the blue 100%, so there's not much more else it can go. So let's create a green container and let me show you what that looks like. Change the image to green, and I added a new revision under the route section, but I made it 0%. So even though it's there, even though it has an explicit name, a host name that I'll exercise in a second, everything is still going 100% to blue. Because I have an explicit way of getting to that route, I can actually go here, but if I explicitly go to v2, I will bypass the route and get the green. So that's the part that's kind of interesting with the routes. Show you the diff here. So I'm basically changing everything that was 100 to 50 and 0 to 50. So now you should start seeing some greens and blues here. And then if I wanted to, I can just go 100% green, which, as you'd imagine, changing the blue to 0 and making the green 100%. Right, so here, 100% blue again. And that's that for the green and blue part of this demo. So let's clean this up. Now, final part for this talk that I wanted to show you is the build. This would apply Knative build template capability. For this demo, I'm using Canonical. There are a couple of choices. Canonical, it's very simple. The build templates, because I did that, now you see a new namespace here, which turned on the capability for me to do a build. I need to push this build into Docker Hub. So for that, I need to give it some secrets. Show you these pieces here. So this is what a secret would look like, and then you create a service account, and then if you were to just do a build, what template you're using, point it to the source, the branch where the source is, and where you want to put build image in a Docker IO. And he knows how to do that because he has information on my user and password there. At this point, let me show you what's different to Native 1 and Native 2, where we explicitly telling where the image is, to full Native 2, where you're actually telling where the code is. Section here that didn't exist in full version 1, existing in the -2. And then I'm changing the target, so this is it in its entirety right here. Actually, I want to change the source code to prove you that I'm not tricking you. For that, I'm just gonna go here. Okay, turn off debug, and I want release to save. So let's save this. All right, just launch it. I want you to what's gonna happen here. It's kind of fun. Okay, the first thing you're gonna see is a pod was created in my namespace, and you see it's going through these stages. Stage 1 is pulling the image. Stage 2 is building it, and stage 3 would be to push that image to the right place. You can actually see what happened, where the pod is, and how the build succeeded or not, and the image that got created. I can go to Docker Hub. See that image was built a few seconds ago, latest, and take a look at the image. There we go. That's the release we added, the target. Now, if you wanted to, you could change it back. So let's say I want to go back to the image that we had in the full one. So I just do that, apply that, and you're gonna see a version 2 being populated here to a graph, right? You see, and now I'm back to initial image. Once again, jump back, and lo and behold, you see our revision 3 happening here. Now, what's interesting is this happens, the other ones will be scaling down to 0 because they're not getting used. So it's not something to just grow forever. Let's go back here, create one more version just for the fun of it. Let's see, and one more, read it, and then I can just delete everything. And that's about it. Blow up this cluster here. And we are done. Just go back here. I just want to make mention of all the apps that used to produce this. Thank you very much.